Hello and welcome to this yoga for golfers on this beautiful sunny evening. You don't need any equipment, just yourselves, not necessarily even a mat. Let's begin in mountain pose, feet hip width apart, kneecaps lifted so the quads are engaged, pelvis, the tailbones pointing down towards the floor so we're not sticking our tailbone out, tall through our centre channel, really pulling up tall through the crown of the head, palms either by the side or palms face forward, whichever is comfortable for you. And you should feel your abdominals pulling up and in. So even though we're just standing, we are actually working muscles in our body. Our abs, our erectors, our quads, shoulders are down the back. Breathing here. Throughout this practice, make sure you breathe in and out through the nose. Exhale, lower the chin down to the chest. Inhale the head up and round to the right. Neck circles once you're at the top. Exhale the head down and round to the left. Reverse the circle. Inhale up and round to the left. Once we're at the top, exhale down and round to the right. Bring the head back into neutral. Let's come into a side stretch, hands to the hips or the waist. Inhale the right arm up, think length, exhale over to the left. Trying to keep the weight equal in both feet. Remembering to breathe. This is a lovely side stretch for the right side of the body. With the navel in, inhale back to centre. Switch sides. Inhale the left arm up. Again, think up before going over on an exhale over to the right. Think chest to sky, so we're not rounding forward. And continue to breathe here. Exhale the navel in, inhale back to centre. Let's do a lovely stretch now for between our shoulder blades. Eagle arms, Garudasana arms, bring the arms forward, then bend at the elbows. Bring the right elbow underneath the left and then grab onto your shoulder blades with your hands. Lift the elbows up and then lower the shoulders down the back. And you should feel quite a good stretch. Keep the navel up and in, keep tall out of the waist, so we're not sort of collapsing in through the body. Keep breathing. Gently release the arms. Rotate the shoulders a couple of times, forwards, up and back. And let's repeat on the other side. Arms out straight in front, bend the elbows, bring the left elbow underneath the right, and then with the hands holding on to the shoulder blades, lift the elbows up, lower the shoulders down. 5 breaths here. Carefully unravel. Take the time, it was an intense stretch. Rotate the shoulders again. We'll come down onto our hands and knees. tabletop. So the fingers are spread wide with the middle finger pointing to the top of the mat. Shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, legs are parallel. Pressing away from the yoga mat, that which is touching the mat. Drawing the navel up and in, we're not collapsing between the shoulder blades. Breathing here. So we're really working our muscles here in this position. Might not feel like it, but if you're pressing away from the mat, you are activating many muscles. On an inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze. Into our cow position, Bittilasana. Exhale, curling from the tailbone, rounding through the spine. Head comes to the chest, chin to chest, into our cat. Inhale, cow. Lower the belly, look up, arching the lower back. Exhale, cat, Madhyasana. Doming up through those shoulder blades, stretch, stretch, stretch. One more. Inhale, cow. Gaze up. Arms are straight. Exhale, curl from the tailbone, rounding through the spine into our cat. Return to neutral. Extend the right leg back, toes to the floor, pushing through the heel for a calf stretch. Keep breathing, come forward so the shoulders are over the wrists again, navel draws up and in, and on an inhale, lift that right leg so it's roughly parallel to the floor. Toes are pointing down, the foot is flexed. You should hopefully feel your glute and your hamstring being active here. Keep breathing, keep sucking that navel up and in to keep the lumbar spine protected. So here we're working the abs, core, deep back muscles, glutes, hamstrings. Exhale, bring the knee back down. Switch sides, extend through the left leg, toes to the floor, push through that heel, stretch the calf. Keep breathing. Come forward so the shoulders are over the wrists, navel up and in. Inhale, lift the left leg parallel to the floor. Try to make sure that the hip stays closed so the toes are pointing down, not out to the side. Keep pressing away from the yoga mat equally with both hands, keeping that navel up and in. Gaze is down between the hands. Exhale, bring the knee back down. Come back, ideally, if you can sit on your heels, that's wonderful. You're stretching your calves here, but if that's not accessible, you can rise up. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what we're doing here. Coming into a tricep stretch. Inhale the right arm up and let the hand go down the back. And you can either push against that tricep, pushing it back, or if you've got the space, grab onto the elbow and pull it back. Breathing here. You want to make sure your neck is still tall. So if you're having to scrunch your head forward, you need to release the arm a bit. Keep breathing. Keep that navel up and in. Carefully release. Rotate the shoulders. And switch sides. Inhale the left arm up, hand down the back between the shoulder blades, and either pushing from the front, pushing into that tricep to push it back, or grabbing onto the elbow and pulling it if you've got the space. Your shoulder may not let you do it in this version. Carefully release. Give the shoulders another rotate. And then let's meet back in tabletop again. On hands and knees, wrists under the shoulders. I'm just brushing off ants. Knees under the hips. We're coming to stretch again through the thoracic area with a twist. Inhale the right arm out to the side and up. Then on your exhale, thread the right arm behind the left arm with the palm facing up. You may be up high like I am, or you may be able to bring your right ear and shoulder down onto the mat. Do not force it. Keep the lower belly engaged the whole time to protect the lumbar spine. Over time, and by time I mean months, maybe longer, you will find your ear and shoulder will come down to the mat. On an inhale, return to tabletop. Inhale the left arm up to the side. Exhale, thread that behind the right arm. Palm face up. Maybe the ear and shoulder come onto the mat. Maybe not. It does not need to, so long as you can feel the twist. Maintaining that navel in against the spine. Exhale the navel in. Inhale, rise back up to tabletop. Bring the hands to the very top of the mat, keeping the hips over the knees. On an exhale, lower the forehead down towards the mat or the floor, keeping that navel in. The head may be hovering somewhere between your arms, or it may go all the way to the mat. Anahata heart to earth or puppy pose. Great for between the shoulders, the upper back. Great for golfers, but also anyone that spends a lot of time driving or at a desk. Keep breathing here. Exhale the navel in. Inhale, rise back up to tabletop carefully, taking care in these transitions. We're now coming down onto our backs. So lying down on our backs with our knees bent, feet hip width apart. May be able to just brush the back of your heels. Don't worry if you can't. Inhale that navel in, pressing the palms down firmly. Then on an exhale, we're rising the hips up. Lifting the tailbone, lower back and mid back. Your knees will want to splay apart. Try and keep them aiming towards each other, but don't make them touch. Breathing here. Just really squeezing those glutes, really working the buttock area. Think chest to chin, chin to sky, so we're not scrunching the neck. And on an exhale, carefully come down one vertebrae at a time, taking your time. There is no rush. Once the spine is flat to the mat, let the knees just go slightly to the right and then a little bit to the left, just to reset the spine after that gentle back bend. Let's work our hip flexors, the muscles at the front of the thighs. Pull the right knee into the chest, really squeeze it in as far as you can and extend the left leg long, keeping the left foot flexed so the toes are up to the sky. So we're compressing, we're squeezing our right hip flexor while we're stretching our left hip flexors. So important. Tight hip flexors pull on the low back, reduce our movement in the low back area, cause backache. Make sure you're breathing. Carefully release that right foot back to the ground. Bring the left knee into the chest, squeeze it in as far as is comfortable and extend the right leg long, toes up to the sky. So you're really pushing through the heel of the straight leg while you're squeezing in the knee of the bent leg. Release that left foot back down to the mat. Bend into the right knee so the feet are both flat to the mat. Extend the right foot so it's parallel to the ceiling or the sky. The knee can be as bent as it needs to be, and you hold on at the back of the thigh. With each exhale, you straighten that knee a little bit more. So we're stretching the hamstrings here. Do not force it. If your leg is trembling, you are working too hard. Bend the knee a bit more. This takes time. Hamstrings get incredibly tight, especially in men. Keeping that navel in, bring the right ankle over the top of the left knee and push that right knee away with your right hand. Keeping that right foot flexed so the toes are again pointing up. And here we're opening the hip, and you may feel a stretch in the outer right hip or in the right buttock. Reclined pigeon. Not that I see many pigeons hanging around like this, but uncross the leg with care. Straighten that leg out flat to the mat. Give it a wiggle. And let's switch sides with that little sequence. So bend into the right knee again, foot flat to the mat. Extend the left leg so the foot is parallel to the ceiling or the sky. Knee bent as much as it needs to be, holding on behind the thigh. And again, with each exhale, just straightening that knee a little bit. You don't want the sensation to be more than a 4 to 5 out of 10. Don't ever overforce anything. You don't want to tear muscles. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Carefully place the left ankle over the right knee and push that left knee away, keeping the left foot flexed to stretch the left hip and left glute. Uncross that top leg with care, straighten it out, give it another wiggle just to release the muscle. Bend into both knees again so the feet are flat to the mat. Lift the hips up, then move them to the left and then place them back down. So you're still flat on your back, but you've just moved over to the left slightly. Feet together, let the knees drop to the right as far as they want to go, and bring your arms out to the side. If they don't reach all the way to the floor and you want to just be able to support them, next time you come to this practice you can get a cushion ready to put under your knees if you want. Laying spinal twists, so good for the lower back, great for the digestive system. It's also a lovely stretch for the upper outer hip. Exhale the navel in, and then carefully on an inhale lift the left knee up first, followed by the right. Then lift your hips, you can use your hands if you need to, bring your hips over to the right, lower them back down, and then let your knees go down to the left. With care, be mindful, feel the stretch, don't overdo it. Arms straight out to the side again. Breathing slow and deep. Exhale that navel in against the spine. Protect the spine as we bring the knees up on an inhale. Recenter your hips to the middle of the mat, then extend your legs long and wide and let the feet drop out, arms gently away from the sides of the body, palms up. We're in our resting pose, Savasana, corpse pose. This is where the body integrates all the work that it has done. Constructive rest. We're not here for too long. Resist the urge to get up now and go. Try and stay with this. Start to bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. Rotate your wrists and ankles. Big stretch up overhead. Oh, that's a lovely stretch. Bend into your knees so your feet are flat to the mat again. Roll onto one side and then using your arms, bring yourself up to any seated position of your choice, kneeling, cross-legged. I hope you have enjoyed this practice. Hands to heart center, bit of yogi bit here. Bow your head to your hand, thanking yourself for taking this time. Namaste. I hope you have enjoyed this practice. If you manage to return to this practice 2 to 3 times a week, you will be amazed at how your body will start to change and how you will actually find that your golf swing will improve. You become incredibly one-sided with golf, and you do need to balance up, stretch, strengthen equally both sides of your body. Leave me a comment below, let me know how you got on with it. I will be posting a sort of next level up one in a little while, so you can work towards that. Click the subscribe button below if you haven't done so already, and thank you so much for watching.